This conference will now be recorded.
What we wanted to do was realize that, hey, this community out there, you're used to seeing people face to face, you're used to working next to them, and there's a lot of sharing that happens in terms of just more efficient ways to work and great ideas and everything else. And we're not having that so much right now. We can't turn to somebody or talk to them about how we use Nav and BC. And so we wanted to enable that a little bit more and hopefully just share some tips and some good ideas, especially in this time where we need to work more productively, more efficiently. We thought we could help with that. So it's just a community event to do that. I welcome again everybody for joining. Thanks very much for doing that today. We want to do this monthly. We'll have a different theme each month, and we're going to have a different drink each month because we thought, hey, let's have some fun while we're doing it as well. Before we get to that drink, just want to make sure, hey, if you are not speaking, if you wouldn't mind, mute yourself, but we very much want this to be interactive. So do unmute yourself and share, please. Also share your webcam. It would be great to see everybody and feel a little bit better connected that way. The August one is available to register for right now, so you can go out back to the meetup group and register for that. There will be links in the slides, and we'll share that out afterwards, as well as doing this as a recording, and we'll put that on our YouTube channel that was just created, Business Central Mix It Up, and you can share that with others as well. And then keep track of great tips as we're moving through. Write down that person's name that you thought shared a great tip. We're going to have a survey at the end. You can put that person's name in to vote for your favorite, and then we will reward them with a prize. So without further ado, let's get to the important stuff and talk about tequila sunrises. And our bartender, Kim Congleton, is ready to go.
Yes. So hopefully everybody has their tequila, orange juice, and grenadine. Does everybody have that? Is anybody going to make a drink with me? Hopefully. Look at you guys. So I know we recommended, there's a lot of different tequila, and one of the secrets to a good tequila sunrise, so I'm told, is that you use a good tequila. I recommended Avión tequila, which would look like a bottle like this, except my bottle of the silver was empty, so we're not going to use that today. Another good tequila to use would be one of my favorites as well, Casa Noble silver. And as you can see, that one is empty too, and my niece is definitely in trouble for drinking the rest of that and putting it back empty. So we will use the 3 Generations silver. It's got a little bit of a citrus note in it, but you want to kind of look for something that's a little citrusy, so it kind of enhances that orange juice flavor. So we're going to pour about 2.5 ounces, and you're going to see why I get fired as the bartender. We're going to say that's about 2.5 ounces. I mean, it's almost empty. Let's just go with that. Yours should look about half of that. Then we're going to pour it. Sorry, it's one of those days. I feel like we should just use it. Then you're going to pour in about 3 ounces of orange juice. We'll go with that. I have no idea. And then grenadine. You pour this, so I'm told the secret is to pour this over the back of a spoon, so it kind of just goes down the side, makes it look all pretty. Okay. And then if you want to be cheesy about it, we're going to put a maraschino cherry in there, and you can also garnish with a orange as well. Now, fun fact, Mark will give a prize to whoever can answer this question. What was the 1972 unofficial name of the Stones tour? Feel free to Google that. And then that is how you make a tequila sunrise. All right, take it away, Mark. I'm going to drink this.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, that's strong. This is the bartender.
Hey, Mark. Now that you got your drink, did you see the email I sent you about the relationship management functionality in Business Central? You know, there's rumors.
I did, Rob.
You know, there's rumors out there that Microsoft isn't adding any more functionality to relationship management in BC. But this new functionality has me really encouraged. You know, we've had that exclude from the segment field forever. That just allows you to filter out whoever said they don't want to be, contacted in future interactions. Yeah, but these new fields aren't just filters. The privacy block field, that's pretty cool. If you activate that on the contact, you can't interact with that contact. That means no sales quotes, no opportunities, no interactions, and no tasks. I mean, it's like blocked. And then the minor and parent consent received fields, they work similarly. If you say your contact is a minor, it automatically turns on that privacy blocks field. And the only way you can interact with that contact is if you then activate the parent consent received field. I'm just encouraged that they're going to continue to develop relationship management in BC. I'm already looking forward to the fall release.
Well, that's awesome, Rob.
That's awesome. I
think
had
that
no idea about those things.
Yep. So one of the things that is my favorite is the Explorer menu that they added back in, because I am notorious for not typing things right in the search window. And one of the things I always forget what it's called is the customer and item and vendor templates, if you're familiar with that. So a lot of times I struggle with finding that and typing that in right in the search bar. And what I will do is actually go up and use the Explore menu that's been added. And Mark, I don't know if you have that next slide there.
I do think I have something for you here. How's that?
That would be, there it comes. And so, it's one of those things where if you can't find something, the nice thing about the Explore menu is whatever role that you have, like here you can see the business manager. I was logged in as the business manager. And if you hit the Explore all, or the Explore button, it will take you into the business manager and show you everything that's on there so you can kind of navigate your way through. If you hit Explore all from there, you can see I can actually go and look at all of the things, everything else that's available as well. And under admin, I know that most of the templates are there. So you can see I can find the customer, vendor, and item template as well. So that's kind of my favorite thing that's come up, because there's been a couple things where I couldn't find them. Just today, I couldn't find users, and I think I was typing it wrong, but it's just as easy to kind of go into the Explore menu and find that as well. I'm sure it had to do with user error as far as typing that. So, and I am also looking forward to the fall release to see what other new features are coming out.
You might like that Explore menu too. Really cool.
Yeah.
So Rob and Kim, I think you guys had really good tips, but I think we saved the best for last for new view tips. So I'm going to share mine with you if Mark would just hop to the next slide.
Sure.
So the Business Central feature that I'm most excited about is the option to edit in Excel. So what this function does is it allows you to export records to Excel, make changes to these records, and then publish the changes back into Business Central. So you can see in this first screenshot, I've just gone to the customer list and I went to page, edit in Excel. And what's going to happen is it's going to export all of these records to Excel. And you can see not only the fields that you see on that list view, but all of the available fields. So this will allow you to change records like email address, which you can see in the second screenshot. That's what I've done here. So I can do a mass update to records or data on these customer cards without having to go into each customer card and make those changes. Really awesome. So once I've made the changes that I want to the records, I go to the data connector, which you'll see in the third screenshot here. And this will be on the right side of your Excel screen. So the first time you go into this, edit in Excel, you might have to log into your Microsoft account, but then it'll be linked from there. So when I went in, it popped up right away. And once I made the changes, I'm going to hit publish on my data connector. And what this is going to do is it's going to push those changes right back to Business Central. So a really cool feature. Another cool thing is, not all of us, we're not all perfect. So it's nice that if you make a change that has invalid data, so say you change a posting group from domestic to Mickey Mouse, for instance, probably none of us have Mickey Mouse as a posting group in our system. So Business Central is going to recognize that this is not a valid option for posting group, and it's going to tell you that you have an error. So what you can do is if you look at the data connector, there's an option to refresh. So you'll hit that and it'll reset your data so that you can make changes from there. So this is one of the features that I'm most excited about in Business Central.
Very cool.
You know, it raises the question, I wonder if Disney has a posting group named Mickey Mouse. Possible. Hey, so who else has a favorite feature that they want to share with the group they've been highlighting as along the way?
They just came for the drinks.
Yeah.
Mark,
Well, I thought, yeah.
I would like to expound on a little tip in addition to what Carrie's already talked about on the data connector. If you look right below on her third screenshot where it says publish, below that it says filter and design. Well, Carrie's absolutely correct. When you choose this edit in Excel, it does bring all of the fields. Well, for some people who are going to use this repetitively, they don't want to see all those fields, or maybe they're using this function to dump data from another system through copy and paste. You can actually pick that design feature, and you can pick and choose which fields are in your edit in Excel. I like that part of it because I thought it was so long.
And I love that they continue enhancing the ability to do stuff in Excel rather than retreating from it, right?
Exactly.
#1 business tool in the world. All right, maybe I should call on some people because I know we got some good tips out there to share.
Have to read though, David Gersten has a very important comment in the chat that I want to be sure to address.
Oh, thank you.
So if they make a vodka sunrise for the vodka drinkers, I will tell you that our very own Carrie here has a vodka sunrise because she's not a tequila person. So David, you are fully represented with the vodka sunrise.
Fantastic. That's good to know. Thank you.
Well, Carrie, you got to hold up that drink again. You got a fancy straw work in it too. So that's really well prepared.
And then I also saw David's question about, David, I think that was about the edit in Excel, about how that works for Apple users. I do think that I read that it doesn't work on Mac. I'd have to double check that fact.
Yeah, do we know if that's any of you technical? I'm sales and marketing, as everyone knows. I'm the least technical person here, other than Mark, maybe. No, I know that that's always a challenge because it's one of my sales questions that I always forget to ask. Are you an Apple user or a PC? And we always demo it, but then we get to implementation and we're like, oh, shoot, these are designers and they're all using Apples and it doesn't work. Do we know if that's roadmap or?
I have not heard anything about that being roadmap, David. So
okay, I'll go put it out on ideas, and everyone on this call, please vote it, because we're excluding a group of end users that could use our solution.
Yep, agreed.
David, I'm so glad you mentioned ideas. I want to make sure everybody knows about that because that's what I was going to say my favorite feature, even though that's not inside Business Central. But can you tell everybody what that is?
I actually don't even think it's called Ideas anymore. I think they changed the name yet a third time because it's Microsoft and we shouldn't even name it right now. But what it is a tool set for people to actually promote or put in suggestions, features and functionalities that they want to improve or add to any Microsoft solution, not just Business Central. It's a very, very powerful tool across the entire Microsoft platform. And then you can vote on it. So best practices, have everyone in your organization vote on something that you put in, have your customers tell you to, when they put something in, tell them to tell you so you could vote, social media, do it at anything, crowdsource your ideas. Because my understanding is like 70 to 80% of feature upgrades each release come from that site.
And I actually had that in the spinner deck. If you joined early during the call, I was sharing some of my favorite Business Central resources that was listed in there. And I'll put that deck with those hyperlinks out on a location. We'll share it with everybody. I'll share through the meetup. We'll share the hyperlink for that.
Yeah.
And then, not to occupy the whole meeting, I did take the Rolling Stones question with Stones Touring Party. by the way, STP.
The unofficial name, though, was
The
the Cocaine
unofficial.
and Tequila Sunrise Tour.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
they took the Tequila Sunrise on tour with them in
Yes.
1972.
Yeah, because that's the only thing they took with them.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure they took a lot of things with them, but they had a lot of Tequila Sunrises.
All right. Who else has a great feature, favorite feature in Business Central to share?
I'm looking for some advice. Does that
Yes.
count?
Okay.
Yes. Ask away. We got a bunch of smart people on the phone here.
James offered to spend time with me in looking for resource information on the database. So I want to be able to find a field. How do I know what table it's in or what view it's in or if it even exists? For example, one I'm searching for now is the date an invoice was paid off. A sales invoice.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you guys go to look for that kind of information? Steve,
Well,
quit smirking.
Customer ledger.
Yep, customer ledger.
I'm going to find the invoice. I'm going to look at applied entries. There's actually a closed by date, but I would probably look at the applied entries, find the payment, and see the date I posted that payment.
But there's no documentation. If I'm looking and thinking in terms of writing a Power BI report.
Oh,
yeah.
And are you planning on using the OData APIs, Belinda, to get that data?
Yeah, web services typically. Yep.
Okay, so that's the other complication. She's not using the BCUI, and she's having to go through like the OData APIs that are exposed in Power BI for those data sets. So it may not be available. I don't know. You'd have to really scan and know what the field is called.
Yeah, there's not a single field that you can use. You're going to have to jump through a couple fields, right, Kim Delafield, in order to get to that answer if you're going through external API, which will be more difficult for sure.
And
what
then
about documentation? So that's a great, that answers my immediate question. Thank you. But what about like if in the future, I don't want to have to like, hold up this. Like
So you're talking about like a data dictionary type of idea?
Yeah.
Kind of.
They used to have.
We used to have one, yeah.
Yeah, they used to have one. I don't know if they have one for BC. Oh, Cynthia.
Hey,
I have a
Cynthia.
trick. So I've gotten really frustrated because I'm used to working in Nav, and I could open up the development client and I would read the code and I would go look at the database, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like my hands are tied with Business Central, especially with Azure. So what I've started doing is using the configuration packages. And so what I do is I create a configuration package and I add the tables that I think my fields might be in. And then I go look at the column where it has available fields. And I can actually go look at all of those fields. And if I have an appropriate page assigned to whatever the table is, I can actually also view all of that data in the database.
Great suggestion. And Belinda, Tanya Henderson told me about that. That's what she does as well. When she's searching for which field it is, she does the configuration manager and pulls down packages.
It was out of necessity and frustration and feeling like I went backward in the Stone Age when I lost my development time.
Yeah, there's a couple other areas that I like looking at. If you do have access to Object Designer, you can look at page 7702. It's called Field. You can't search for it, but if you run it from Object Designer, it'll actually give you a list of all of the fields on all of the tables.
Is that in BC or isn't that in Nav?
It's also in BC and in Nav.
Start over. Where is that again, David?
It's if you it's page 7702. Now, it's called Fields is the name of it. And if you run it, it basically just gives you a list of all of the fields and all of the tables and what table name they're in. You can also get to it via SAS if you're on BC SAS, by going up to if you just go up to the URL where you're looking at, and it has like production, at the end of the long string, it says maybe like production ? If you type in page is equal to 7702, it'll also bring back that information also.
As an append to that, the data dictionary report, which was 10,315, did go through NAV 18. I don't know if it's available in BC.
Yeah, I also I put in the link in the chat too, a link to dynamicdocs.com, which is I don't know who put it together, but it basically takes a look at all of the tables and how they're structured, how they link together, all of the different fields that are as a result of those. So if you click on, one of the areas, it'll show you all of the fields and all the linkages too. So they're very helpful also.
Great stuff.
Nice.
Hey guys, I know I joined this meeting and I said I was really new at BC and basically I'm just here to listen, but I think I might know something that's helpful to this conversation. Again, I'm super new, so I'm not sure if this is exactly what we're talking about, but I know I have heard something like this before. But
Tyler?
Can I go ahead and share my screen here?
If it's not right, you have to hang
so.
up.
Cool. When you're on like a page like this, no, I don't want to leave the meeting. I don't know how to get this away. How do I get this thing off the side of my screen here? Where I go to meeting. Okay, there we go. But page inspection, is this helpful? When you're on a page like this, like a customer card or something, and you come up to the question mark, help and support, and then go to the bottom, inspect pages and data. It brings up this page inspector on the right side, which kind of tells you the page, the table, and kind of a listing of all the fields available. Would that be helpful for what we're talking about here?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also get to that by hitting Control Alt F1 or
Control F1.
Control Alt F1.
Okay.
It's the old zoom feature in the original nav. The other thing that's helpful when you're trying to troubleshoot that is if you have extensions loaded, if you click on extensions there in the middle, it'll also show you not only the base application, but if you have extensions like table extensions or page extensions that are affecting that page, it'll tell you what extensions are involved. So if you need to go back and troubleshoot or remove something because something's not happening or is happening improperly, you can know what extension to remove to do some troubleshooting.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Tyler.
So does anybody know how the flow fields and calc fields present themselves in that situation? In other words, Belinda's situation, she might be seeing, if she were looking at the customer ledger entry, she might see a dollar value there, but that dollar value isn't a real value in the table. It's calculated from all of the detailed customer ledger entries down below. So that's just another kind of gotcha, Belinda, when you're looking at this information. It may look real to you, and when you use some of these tools, you might see it as being blank or not, that there's nothing there. That doesn't mean that a value doesn't exist for that if you look at it through the UI. So someone made the point about using APIs and looking at a table. It's still really good to validate all of your assumptions by actually going through the user interface.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Good. We're right at the bottom of the hour. Since we got a couple-minute late start, we'll hang on here for a couple minutes. Anybody else has any questions or another feature to share?
I have a quick question, if I may. I'm curious to know what everyone's favorite, and this isn't to promote or support or endorse, but what is the most common app source add-in that people are seeing that they're delivering into their everyday solution? Like, what's the must-have?
Well, if you're a retailer, Charge Logic.
Okay. There's a lot of free ones out there, which is really fun. So like a recommendation like Doc Extender from InsightWorks, really takes document storage to the next level. And you see that as kind of a, free add-on, and customers don't realize that it's a value. Like, you could present it as almost it's just part of Business Central. So I'm wondering, those are the ones that are kind of take it to the next level, the solution, provide secret competitive advantages. You don't have to share those, but those are the ones that I think are sometimes fun to talk about.
That's actually a really interesting topic, David. And I think that one of my conflicts with what we see about on app sources, there's so much out there and it's really hard for people to sort through. And I don't hear about a whole lot of leaders of the pack. I hear a lot of people trying to figure out all the different features. I think that would be really useful for the community at large to figure out what are those ones that people are actually using and start getting some kind of a filter on there. I don't care if it's voting. I don't care if it's just, here's my opinion. But to be able to start hearing some of those experiences, because I don't think there's a lot of sharing on what people are using. And I think that'd be incredibly useful.
I like that, Trey.
There's also the challenge of trying to even navigate that list. I was trying to look for something, see what was popular, and there's no filter by available region. So I'm seeing things that are not allowed in the US, and it's like, why? There's not even a country filter. So
I've heard country filters coming out when the marketplace opens. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is that the marketplace where we can monetize those extensions that disappeared off the radar for several years?
Yeah.
Is it back on the radar?
It's in the ISV program, yes. There's like 20 ISVs in it right now that are being beta tested.
Okay, so it is in progress. That's okay. Yeah. That's more than I've heard in over a year. Thank you.
Yeah, we built an extension for F&O and we're looking at potentially being in there.
Can we ask the same question about Power BI? Oh, I'm sorry, Cynthia.
Oh, I was just going to share, there's a free extension out there from Gunnar Getson. I know I didn't say his first name properly, but it adds the account name to GL entries. It's such a simple little thing.
Wow.
And for a lot of people, especially depending on what you have going into your GL entry descriptions, if you do a lot of work from that GL entries page, that's like a huge thing. And it's so little and so sweet. And I was so excited when I found it. It just goes to show you that one field can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You had a question, Belinda?
Yeah. How many of you are using Power BI with your own company or your customers?
Mm-hmm.
2 hands, really.
Oh, I thought that was a lead into something.
I mean, besides the new strategy people, yeah.
We just launched a power practice on July 1. Joel Leike came from SG Global to run it.
Yes, I saw. He's one of my favorite people. He's one of my space buddies too.
Yeah, he's great. You guys are very compatible.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, all right, last call for tips or questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm trying to share my screen. I'm a newbie, so maybe everybody knows, I'm not sure. But when we add document, because when we do AP, we attach the invoices all the time. So we work with 2 screens, so we can just grab the document and drop it. So we didn't know about that. We kind of just found it on our own.
Very nice. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent tip.
Very nice.
And by the
Yeah,
way,
what's also nice about that is if you scroll over to the right a little bit.
Oh,
go ahead, Dave.
Sorry.
You can share your own screen.
I was just thinking if you scroll over that, like if you attach a document to a vendor, you can also specify whether you want that document to flow through to any purchasing documents that are associated with that vendor. So if you want it to go, it'll attach also to purchase invoices or purchase orders.
Great point, Dave. Yes. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. A lot has been written around that feature. It's a very popular feature, definitely.
So this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there should be. Let's see, you're on a purchase invoice. Yeah, so if you go back to like a vendor card or a customer card and go to that attachment feature, you'll see some more options available.
All righty. Hey, I hope that was valuable for you. I hope you had some fun along the way. We have the August meeting on September 2nd, I think. Don't ask me why, but that's what we're doing. And the theme of the next one is, what is it? Kim, do you remember?
Moscow Mule or the
Time saver. Favorite time saver.
Time
and
saver.
yes, and the theme drink is Moscow Mules. As kind of an end of summer drink there. That's right. Thank you. I knew it was in there.
I only remembered the Moscow Mule, so.
That's a vodka drink.
Hard to argue with that.
That's a real vodka drink.
So let me let me share my slide again so you can see the follow-ups here if I can get to it fast enough. And
no,
I got it. I can be taught. All right. So go ahead and register for August. Please share that out. Again, we really want to make this just an open event for anybody. You know me. I love when people learn, and so I really encourage a lot of people to join in and pick up some time-saving tips and make everybody's life better and using Business Central. You can continue the conversation out in the meetup group if you want to share anything else. I've posted in the chat here the link to the survey for the meeting to get your feedback and thoughts on that. And we'll also put that recording out there on the YouTube channel, and I'll post the link out for the PowerPoint decks as well as that recording out in Meetup, so you can reference that. And I think that's it. And again, don't forget to vote for favorite tips so we can send something fun to somebody. And everybody, have a great rest of your day. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks for doing this.